Hi, it's Stephen Terry here. Pink Square or Pink Panther, or however you know me. Anyway, I'm a regular user on Tapology, and I'm going to be making some guides on how to use the site for new users or existing users that may not know certain features of the site. Last time I explained how to make predictions, and this time I'm going to be going through the forums on Tapology, making comments in the forums, how to post pictures and videos in the forum, and also interesting threads and basically just the social side of Tapology. Before I get started, I owe Michael K. Azer an apology for mispronouncing his name in the last, or absolutely butchering it in the last one. But luckily, our good friend Baldrick Egling was here to correct me on that one. So thanks for the shout out. Anyway, let's get started. Now, before you post in the forums, you've got to decide what sort of theme is it? What category would it fall under? What are you talking about? Are you talking about a fight? Are you talking about a specific fighter? Are you just talking about something random? And that's where you got to decide sort of what thread it would go into. In this case, any one time on Tapology, the most active thread will usually be the UFC threads that for that coming week. In this case, we got the UFC Fight Night Vieira versus Tate. So this thread is probably the most active at the moment on the site. This is the event page for the event, where you got users talking about the event, talking about the fight, giving their predictions, their opinions, and it's yeah, basically just people giving their opinions on that upcoming event. Obviously, you can go through, you can see quite long breakdowns of this one, give it an upvote just for the effort. And that's another, you can upvote and downvote for them. So you can I could downvote that if I wanted to, but he's put a lot of effort into that one, so give him an upvote for that. And it's probably the best way of getting to know the regular users on this site, as most of the regular posters on here will have something to say about the upcoming UFC event. And let's see, as for actually making a comment on these threads, so you simply go to the bottom here and post a reply, talk about whatever fight you want. Yeah, this is Tate, for instance. Probably spelled that wrong. Apologies for that. Yeah, or something along those lines, or whatever you want to say about that. But in this case, that would be me talking about fight. It's very simple. You just put a title in there, or you don't have to put a title in there. It's completely up to you. And this is the main message bit where you'd put that in. Okay, just just type it. You just start typing. It's just that simple, really. Obviously, you've got the features such as bold, italics, and bullet points. You can link things to articles, which would be, if, for instance, I were to link Tate to say her page, for an example. Let's just open up Maisha Tate's page. You'd simply copy the URL of it, and then highlight over Tate, click on link, post the link into this little pop-up box, and there we go. And if I posted that, I won't, because that was on its own would just be weird. But if I were to post that, I would just hit submit, and that would link it to that page. Now, next bit, obviously, that's the simple bit done. That's the talking, just general replying to the other users or giving your opinions on things. Now I'm going to show you to put pictures on. This one I'm actually going to post a couple of examples. Now I'm going to use this thread as an example of where to post a random meme, because when I go back to talking about themes, This thread is unique in the sense it doesn't really have a theme, and this is, I'm going, for an example, I'm just going to be posting this random meme, which I'm sure me and a lot of other British or European fighters in particular, fighters or fans will, in particular, would relate to. So anyway, I'm going to be posting in this one, the Wobble Shop Benjo Slut Wall Rack up rakes up out the half ras Skillermalink fly ring. Oh, Edric Baldwin. I've no idea if I pronounced that right. I probably haven't. I'm sure he'll correct me again if I haven't. But this thread doesn't really have a theme as such. It's just Edric Baldwin, as I mentioned, they're just posting whatever the fuck he feels like, really. Anyway, such a random thread. Yes, yes, that's right. Excellent, Chris. I'm sure in Boston right now. Greg's eyes twitching and grabbing his right hand from trying to suspend you. Yeah, I can imagine he is. Anyway, this seems as good a place as any just to dump a random meme. So just what would go onto the picture you want to post into the thread. Just go on right click, and then copy image address. Go back to that, click in the box, and then on here under the little image button, click on that. It will come up with another box like the one we saw earlier for linking. And we just paste it into there, click OK, and it will come up like that. And in this case, we're actually going to hit submit, put this onto the post, and you can see that comes up under all the other posts in that thread. As for videos, same sort of thing, really. The only downside is you can only copy them from YouTube. So for this instance, I'm going to go onto this thread. The song you're listening to right now, it's basically a thread where you just post music. It's basically a giant sort of DJ thread, if you like. Users just post whatever songs they like, or any songs they feel worthy of attention, or just whatever. It's just a general sharing music thread, really. So for this example, I'm going to be sharing the absolute criminally underrated not that one, really underrated Harry Chapin song, "A Better Place to Be." The song itself's about 8 minutes long, so I'm not going to listen to it right now in this video, so that would just take up too much time, but definitely worth checking out if you haven't already heard it. Anyway, so this, you just right click, I think I did a bit quicker there. Anyway, you would just right click on the video, and then copy video URL, click that, and then same way with that, you would post the click on the reply box, click on the vid button next to the image button, and again post that URL into the box that comes up there, and again click OK. I'll just give this one a title just so people know which song it is. And then submit, and that will come up just like this once it loads. The internet's having a bad day today. Yeah, and it will come up when it eventually loads, as it will. Will come up just with the video here displayed. You wouldn't have to go onto YouTube to view it. You can just view it in the thread by clicking on it, just as you would any other YouTube video. One thing that's also interesting to note is that up until a certain time window, I'm not exactly sure how long the window you've got to do this is, but you can edit posts that you've made, and like I use it all the time for typos and things. And you can't actually delete your own posts, so they can only be removed by a moderator such as Gregory or someone else, but or admin rather, not a moderator. I don't know if they have the powers to. I've never been one. I can't speak from that experience. But anyway, you can edit them, and you just click on that and it would take you back to the page you were previously on, and you can make any necessary amendments to it. Now, that's the main use of the threads forum. Any threads you subscribe to at the top, I probably should have mentioned that one sooner, but here we'll come up with subscribed threads. For instance, here's a little subscribe button. For instance, this is the miscellaneous thread. Also got that up in another tab there. This is a miscellaneous thread, which is the general thread for just talking about anything other than MMA. Anyway, if you want to subscribe to the thread, keep up to date with threads that you want to follow, you simply hit that subscribe button. I've just unsubscribed there. Click on it, make sure that's blue. And that's why whenever anyone posts anything in the thread, you will get an update about it. Obviously, it's gone back to the first page, but yeah, every time there's a new post in it, you'll be alerted to it. For instance, what that alert you saw up there, that was this guy Rigno posting this. She sounds like an NPC, a non-playable character. Okay, that's a random comment, but that's what the thread's for. As you can see, I've also been alerted to another post in the UFC threads for this week, which, like I said, that's a busy thread, so that's hardly surprising. That's where most of the action is. If you wanted to sort of make a splash on the forum, sort of introduce yourself, that's probably the one where you're going to get to know people the best. And now I'm going to point out some of the more notable threads. I've already introduced you to the miscellaneous thread, the song thread, the song you're listening to right now. There's a number of other interesting threads as well as this there. Tapology also covers a lot of other combat sports. So the next thread I'm going to show you is boxing thread by our boxing experts and editor, Mikey 1903. He's created a thread specifically about boxing. He's the boxing expert. Any questions, anything you want to talk about regarding boxing, this is the thread to post it on. So yeah, if you have a thought about boxing, this would be the one you post it on. That's going back to the whole working out what you want to talk about in the first place and finding the right place for it. You can't actually make picks on sumo. That's one of our regular users, Cheeseball, who's an expert on sumo, or at least seems to be the one that knows the most about it. He's created this thread about sumo. And again, he's posted lots of interesting stuff, mostly at up-to-date tournaments, Bashios, I think they're pronounced. But yeah, he's so if you wanted to talk about sumo, that's where you'd go for that. You can also just go up here on the forum bit, and this will give you a whole list of the most active recent ones. For instance, some we listen to right now, miscellaneous thread. That's a boxing card coming up. You can there's nothing to mention actually. Is whenever there's an event on Tapology, it will have a thread created for it automatically. So any event that's listed on Tapology will automatically have a thread for it. So if you want to talk about an obscure event, try looking for that event and then clicking on the discussion bit. Suppose you want to talk about I'm not even going to try and pronounce those names for the sake of diplomatic relations, but you wanted to talk about this, give that a bell, why not? It will come up with those things. And obviously this is a boxing one. The first few comments by our boxing expert, Mikey 1903. Ball trick is everywhere. Anyway. Yeah, that's I think that's mostly it for the forums. That's quite a simple part of the site, also a very important part of the site. Out of curiosity, if you wonder how much you've posted to the forum, you can see your stats here. In my case, I've posted to the forum 4,570 times. Christ, I need to get a life. Yeah. Yes, I think that's pretty much it for the forums. There are obviously some rules to the forums. I've not actually read Tapology's terms and conditions as to what is and isn't allowed on the forums, but there's about 4,000 and a half posts, and I've not been suspended yet. I've just been using my common sense as to what uh as to what is and isn't allowed. But you can find the full terms and conditions on the FAQ page up in the corner here. It should have forum on this somewhere. This is not part of the site I come to much, to be honest, because I'm not one for reading long paperworky stuff. The Tapology forums is here as a whole, or rules of posting on the forums. And yeah, it's long, but most of it is just common sense stuff like no spamming, don't post illegal stuff, don't post racist stuff, don't post homophobic stuff, just don't be an arsehole. And generally you should be all right. If you do get suspended, that how long you get suspended for is up to the discretion of the moderator who suspends you. It can be anything from about 24 hours to permanently. And if you do, you end up in silver, or at least your name ends up in silver. So most of the people's names on the ones would have come up in red. And actually, one thing I think I can show actually, show you an idea what it looks like in real life. Everyone's names comes up in red normally. In this case, Imperator Fishrat is suspended permanently, who is also Edric Baldwin, who we mentioned earlier. That's an old account, but that's also a very long story. But that's what it would come up with if they're suspended. Yeah, I think that is everything now. Yeah, any questions, just post them in the comments below, or bet you're probably better off trying to contact me on Tapology. But until next time, just keep your chin low, your guard high, and keep on fighting.